Here we're hiking the Appalachian Trail from Old Forge Road, just north of Waynesboro, up to Chimney Rocks. This trail is located in Franklin County, Pennsylvania. And it's just south, probably about 30 miles of the halfway point where Pine Grove State Park is. Probably just about 2/10 of a mile into the hike, we come to the Tumbling Run shelters, which are used for overnighters. They've really spruced this place up over the last few years. Now there's 2 shelters and even a picnic area. This is all done by volunteers, which is very nice. They even have a outhouse down below and a fire pit. A beautiful spring, you can go down and get water. Probably only about 50 yards away. And it's right off the trail. Not hard to find at all. In fact, you can back out and within about 15 yards, you're back on the trail. And now it heads up. Very steep. Once again, this is really one of the steeper climbs of this part of the Appalachian Trail. It just continues up to the top of the mountain. Just past a hiker coming down. They said coming down was almost tougher than going up. I do kind of have it stepped, which helps, but it's still steep. And here, still goes up, but not as quite as steep for about 100 yards. Then it goes back up again. As mentioned before, you had maybe not even 100 yards of flatness, and then it goes back up again, steeper each time. It's a good workout. And won't bore you with this slow climb. Give you an idea, we've been climbing for 15 minutes since leaving the shelter, and we're still going up. You're basically climbing up the side of what they call the South Mountain Range. It goes from up in Pennsylvania clear down to Maryland to Virginia. We're still climbing, and here we hit our first obstacle. Tree down across the trail. Oh! We're over one top. I had some easy hiking, at least for a little while. It's been a few years since I've done this. I don't remember if it goes back up again or not. but we will find out. Getting into some brush. And I'll pick this up when we get closer to the Chimney Rock. And here we're actually going for the first time a little downhill, which leads me to believe that we're going to go back uphill. Here's some areas, and this is the actual trail, where you're almost like rock climbing. And it is still going up. There's the white marker showing we're heading in the right direction. I think we hit the top. We did hit the top. Up here's the intersection of the Appalachian Trail, what they call the Blue Trail, which takes you back down and brings you out there at the shelters. We're going to take the Blue Trail back down. Oh, made it. Chimney Rock's this way. There we go. And here it is, Chimney Rock. Used to come up here with my dog. And there it is. We will head up. More climbing. At least there's a reward at the top of this one. And here is the view from Chimney Rock. Overlooking Franklin County. There's hawks. But it is a pretty good drop off. Once again, Chimney Rocks is just a formation of different rocks.
Yeah, my leg is not going to leave that rock.
People come up for the scenery. I'm going to head back down the Blue Trail, which loops around and comes back down and meets up with the Appalachian Trail. That was Chimney Rocks. My iWatch said the total hike wasn't that long, but it was almost uphill all but probably a tenth of a mile. It was around 1.6 miles from Old Forge up until Chimney Rocks. But once again, it was entirely uphill. There probably wasn't a stretch of more than 100 yards that wasn't uphill. Pretty strenuous hike. Now we're gonna head back down and take a different route. Coming back, just probably 100 yards from Chimney Rock, here again is where the Blue Trail meets up with the Appalachian Trail, and we're going to go with the 2 slashes, which means turn. You go up here, you see another blue slash, and we head down on the Blue Trail. Here, the Blue Trail actually turns into an old logging road. Vehicles don't have access to it anymore, but it is an old logging road that continues on up the mountain. And there are signs that say foot traffic only. Now the trail, the Blue Trail just broke off from the fire road that we've probably followed for about a quarter of a mile and is back on a standalone trail by itself. It did follow the fire road probably for about a quarter of a mile, and now it's heading down the hill. But again, not near as steep as the Appalachian Trail coming up. Now here at 9/10 of a mile into the Blue Trail, it takes a sharp turn. Going down, you're gonna come clear around to the left and continue. All right, now I know where I'm at. We're down, like I said, in what we call the gap. Here's bridges that go across. If you follow that, it'll take you up to a cabin. You can just barely see the cabin up there in the woods that you can rent for the night, and probably about another 100 yards you're out on the road, and there's another entrance coming in higher up on the mountain. But we're going to turn and head back down. Up here is a rock outcropping that I brought my kids to when they were small, probably 8 to 10 years old. My son's now 35, my daughter's now 31, and they still remember it. My daughter brings her son up here and tells him about how I took her here as a little girl. So it does pay to spend time with your kids. They do remember, and they love the outdoors. We used to climb all over those rocks. I have now been on the Blue Trail 1.8 miles. So far it is almost, it is 3/10 of a mile longer than the Appalachian Trail coming from Chimney Rock. And it'll probably end up being over half a mile longer. But it is easier hiking. And that's the price you pay for not having it as steep. The longer distance, but a flatter descent. We made it. We're back to where the shelters are, and we're on the other side. And if you see here, it says spring located across stream. You go down here, oh, probably about 30 yards. And it takes you right to the water. Try to get across here. And spring. As you approach it, they put in a little walkway since I was here the last time. You come over, and there is your spring. The water trickling out of it. And like I said, these should filter all water, even though they claim this is pure, and I know people that do drink it, but it is still recommended it be filtered. And you just turn around and head back down to the trail. And we end the Blue Trail and are back on the Appalachian Trail. Again, here's where we started. We came up, that takes you up the Tumbling Run Shelter, then on up the mountain to Chimney Rocks. The Blue Trail circled around, came back down, and they both meet right here. Just about back down off the Appalachian Trail. To summarize, I took the Appalachian Trail up past Tumbling Run Shelters, clear up to Chimney Rock, which was only, I think it was 1.6 miles, but almost all uphill. Coming back, I took the Blue Trail, which was a little over 2 miles. So you did add over half a mile, but mentioned many times before, much gradual descent than going up. Not near as steep. And this is coming out of the Appalachian Trail, ending my day, which was just a little over 2 hour hike, all things totaled.